Well, over the last few days, a little piece of news has come to the world's attention that that apparently Justin Bieber assaulted a 12-year-old boy at a laser tag facility. What incited this incident was supposedly, according to him, comments, negative comments made towards him by the 12-year-old. Now, as far as I'm concerned, there's no justification for a 16-year-old physically assaulting in any way, shape, or form a child who's 12. Justin Bieber, of course, claims he was the victim of unkind of what he calls unkind words, and he plans on doing some sort of a message or video here on YouTube or some BS like that, talking about how it's wrong to do that. What he doesn't understand, comprehend, or realize is that if you want to live your life in the public eye and be famous, especially be famous for doing really nothing and having no real talent, that there are going to be people out there in the world who hate you, who don't like you, who want to knock you down a few pegs. Of course, he's trying to portray himself as the victim here in order to preserve his precious, pure as the driven snow, innocent little boy image that the record label has worked so very, very, very hard to promote to people who are too ignorant to realize they're being used and they're being had and they're being lied to. And it's, as far as I'm concerned, it just proves that, to me, I've always suspected that Justin Bieber is just a spoiled, selfish little boy who thinks he can get away with doing whatever he wants. There's no consequences for him. Well, he's about to learn that laying your hands on someone who's smaller than you and physically abusing them in any way, even if it's just shoving them out of the way, is a criminal offense. And he could very easily be looking at not prison time, but almost certainly almost certainly he'll be brought to court over it. And then bye-bye goes his image, bye-bye goes his manufactured career, bye-bye goes his money, bye-bye goes his popularity. And I couldn't think of someone more deserving of having such a spectacular fall from grace than him. Of all the undeserving, untalented, unworthy artists in the music industry today, he's right up there with artists like Kesha and the Millionaires. In terms of his music being empty and pointless and vacant and vacuous. It's not even music. He doesn't write his own material. His fans claim he does. They say he's got songwriting credits. Well, that doesn't mean anything. You can get a songwriting credit on a song for suggesting one lyric, one word in the lyrics. You get credit, even if you had nothing to actually do with the writing of the song. And it's as far as I'm concerned, people who want to pay $200 to see him do his karaoke show live are throwing away good money. As much as I dislike and detest the Backstreet Boys, I will at least admit those guys can sing. And they actually can sing pretty well. I've heard Justin Bieber sing acoustically. And sing unaccompanied. He did the national anthem at a hockey game recently. And his voice is terrible. I mean, that's the miracle of autotune. You can sound terrible, but the computer program will make you sound like you're Pavarotti. Can make you sound like you're the greatest vocalist in history. To me, what he sounds like, there's an old recording that's floating around. You may be able to find it here on YouTube, or you may possibly be able to find it on a torrent site of the last Italian castrati. Now, for those who don't know, castrati were male singers in Italy between about the 1600s and the beginning of the last century, who were, as young boys, considered to be the top singers in their choirs. and only the best of the best of the best got castrated so it would preserve their voice. There's only one recording known of a castrati in the world, and it's not a very good recording, but if you can find it, take a listen to it and you'll hear what I'm talking about. But it's just an overall symptom. Justin Bieber and Kesha and all this disposable, second-rate, throwaway garbage music that's popular now, in all honesty, is just a further symptom of the decay of the music industry. In only 30 years, we've gone from bands like Genesis and there's so many, I can't even think of them all. If anyone watching this video can think of any from that time, from the past, please put it down. But I mean, there's bands like Genesis and the Eagles, Aerosmith, Metallica, AC/DC, and Mike and the Mechanics. I mean, that song "The Living Years" is still an extremely moving song, even 20 years after it was written. But we've gone from music, especially in pop music, that had talent and artistry and thought and care put into it, and to this computer-driven, throwaway, meaningless tripe that features people who are only semi-talented, but because of modern recording techniques and computer programs can make them sound incredibly awesome. And as much as I don't care for Pink's music, I will say, like, hearing her acoustic performances and just watching a video of her perform John Lennon's Imagine, she can at least sing well. She can at least sing when she has to. But there's no comparing of people. I've read comments here on YouTube, people trying to compare Kesha to Tina Turner. Tina Turner's music is classic. It's timeless. She is, in a lot of people's minds, she is one of the best female performers ever. Artists like Kesha will never compare to that, ever. And if they think they are, or they dare call themselves that, then they're utterly delusional. Because you have to claim something like that, you actually have to be on par with that. Which is one of the reasons I really, really can't stand Justin Bieber, because for some reason he considers himself the modern day Bob Dylan or the modern day John Lennon. He's not even in the same league, so that's not an apt comparison. I would compare him more to the Donny Osmonds and stuff like that. You know, disposable kiddie pop. But at least Donny Osmond could sing. It just, this whole thing, in my opinion, just totally and completely crystallizes what the music industry has become. It's gone from being about artistry and the creation of meaningful things and beautiful music to prepackaging an image, marketing it heavily, then shoving it out the door for mass consumption by people who don't know enough to realize they're being sold a bill of goods. And it really, really needs to stop.